Welcome back to another Stay Fresh exclusive. Sorry, it's been a while. I have to say this. You guys are freaking awesome. I don't know what happened. About a week ago, I released a video just celebrating 100 subscribers for the Stay Fresh Productions channel. I'm still so thrilled about that. I can't believe we reached 100 subscribers in the time that we did, because again, I didn't expect that. But not a week later, the last time I've checked, we are at almost 430 subscribers. What? What are you guys doing? What did I do? I don't know how we got another 300 plus subscribers in a week's time. I don't know what's going on, but thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. From the bottom of my freaking heart to you for subscribing, for checking out the videos, for commenting, for liking, for disliking. That's okay too. I'm happy to get some traffic, get some visibility, and get some feedback. Please continue to leave your feedback in my videos, guys. I have a great time conversing with you all. I love to stay engaged with you, so don't hesitate. Leave me a comment about whatever you think, and we can talk about it. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna stop blabbing. This is what we're talking about today. 2 Dior fragrances. The ever hyped and ever loved and sometimes ever disliked Dior Homme Intense by Christian Dior. I only have a sample of it, and I also have this 5 ml sample of Dior Homme Parfum. Now, again, this is going to be kind of a head-to-head matchup of these 2 fragrances that are very similar but bring totally different vibes to the table. So we're just going to kind of get into some of the differences to begin with. First of all, they are very similar. They have very similar focal notes to them, as you already know. One of them being iris. Iris is in both of these fragrances, and it is at the forefront. And it is what gives it that kind of lipsticky vibe to it. But the differences are pretty great with these fragrances. First of all, Dior Homme Intense apparently opens up with the lavender note, and I kind of get that. There's this slight freshness to the lipsticky vibe that you get. Something that I also get from the opening of Dior Homme Intense is that chocolatey vibe that everyone talks about. I get that right from the get-go. Like immediately, really just this chocolatey, lipsticky, cosmetic kind of vibe. Now, if you don't know anything about this fragrance, this probably sounds pretty disgusting to you, but you have to smell it to judge it for yourself. Now, on the other hand, Dior Homme Parfum opens with the iris from the get-go, so you get that lipstickiness from the top. And apparently there's some orange at the top, an Italian orange note. I'm not so sure about that. If you really inhale deeply, if you just plant your nose into your arm, you get this slight zestiness that kind of surrounds and like halos this iris note. But immediately within the first 10 minutes, you dive straight into this leather note, and that is what really sets this thing apart. I have Dior Homme Parfum here, dry down from about an hour ago. Same with Dior Homme Intense here. Basically moving into the base of these fragrances, they're kind of different. Dior Homme Intense, we have vetiver and cedar, I believe. So the end of the life of this fragrance, which I have smelled multiple times outside of today, has this slight freshness, this earthy freshness to it, but it doesn't really stand out as the note of vetiver. It just kind of brings the vibe of this freshness, which kind of is surprising considering the entire life of the fragrance, which does not allude to anything like that happening in the scent. Dior Homme Parfum, on the other hand, has this beautiful sandalwood in the base, and I think that is purposefully used to, towards the end of the life of the scent, tone down the leather note, because the leather is sensed from top to bottom, but once we reach the base of this fragrance, The leather is toned down by the sandalwood, which adds this creamy kind of freshness to it. And also we still get that chocolatey vibe. As these fragrances both dry down, they become more and more similar. We have the iris, we have the slight chocolatiness, but the difference being that the leather note is still pretty prominent here. Now Dior Homme Parfum is much stronger than Dior Homme Intense, which is interesting. This is intense, much more than Dior Homme Intense is intense. And anyway, you understand. This thing projects like a monster, like a beast. My God. Even after an hour, like I barely just, it's still, there's a scent cloud from one tiny little spray from this sample vial here. It's just everywhere. Now Dior Homme Intense, not bad performance at all. It doesn't quite compare to this. But I do have to kind of get closer to it to smell it. It is a little bit more intimate of a fragrance. Now, in terms of defining the wearability of both of these fragrances, Dior Homme Intense is something I would consider softer, a little bit more elegant, a little bit more upscale as well. I don't see you wearing this too casually. Both of these are both cool weather fragrances by far. Do not wear these in the warm weather, please. Please, just don't. Whereas Dior Homme Parfum is a little bit more rugged, not quite as elegant, but still has this classiness to it, and definitely more masculine than Dior Homme Intense because of this leather note that we're dealing with throughout the whole fragrance. Now, the funny thing is, if I compare my initial experiences with the two, the first one I smelled was Dior Homme Intense. When I first smelled it, I had just come off of smelling Dior Homme for the first time in Sephora, which I did not like at all. I only smelled it on a test strip though. I didn't like it. I couldn't stand it for more than a couple minutes and I had to just be rid of it. Dior Homme Intense, I got a sample of it because actually a friend of mine, his father had Dior Homme Intense in his bathroom. I was using his restroom one day and I'm like, there's Dior Homme Intense as a bottle. Never seen the bottle yet. So I just kind of sniffed the atomizer and I was like, man, this is great. I didn't have that experience with Dior Homme, so I got a sample of it, sprayed it on, and kind of felt the same way as I felt about Dior Homme. It was a little bit more manageable for me, but I still didn't really like it. I wasn't crazy about it. And to be honest, I haven't been crazy about it since then, up until now. Dior Homme Parfum is something that I got maybe about a month ago. And from first smell, I loved it. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I've been looking for in this fragrance realm of the Dior Homme line. This is what I would consider much more wearable. And I was kind of putting Dior Homme Intense to the side. Now, it wasn't until literally today that I decided to smell the two of them side by side. And my opinion on which of the two of them is king has definitely been oscillating back and forth over the past hour or so. The chocolatey vibe that I get from the opening of this is something that you don't quite get from this, but it's something I didn't notice until I smelled the two of them, and it's something that I like more here. There's a mustiness to leather notes in fragrances, as you might already know. One of them being Tuscan Leather from Tom Ford. That leather note, if you want to know what I think about that, link is in the description. Whew, check out that review. So the mustiness of the leather note in Dior Homme Parfum next to Dior Homme Intense is something that kind of made me lean this way a little bit. I'm like, huh, this is a little much now that I put them side by side. And this thing is so elegant and soft and beautiful. And in smelling them more and more, I'm still getting a very strong leather note here. And this thing is projecting much more than this. But in smelling them side by side and trying to decide which one I like better, I can't decide. Sorry. If you're looking to have me tell you which one I like better, I can't compare them. As similar as they are, they're so different. Their uses and their purposes are so different. You use them in totally different situations. If I'm gonna go out on maybe a fall or winter night with some friends, and I have a leather jacket I want to throw on and look a little bit more rugged and a little bit more hard and masculine, I'll throw this thing on, Dior Homme Parfum. That goes perfectly. It's It's still kind of classy, but it's rugged, it's masculine. There's not a whole lot of softness to it, especially the sillage of this thing is that slight mustiness to it, but it is very masculine, and I think it's something that it can be very appealing to a lot of people around you, as long as you don't overspray, because again, this thing is super freaking strong, like superhuman samurai cyber squad strong. Who remembers that one? The Homme Intense, I would throw this on only with a suit and nothing less than that, and maybe a collared shirt with some nice slacks. I gotta look clean, I gotta look nice, presentable for a night out, maybe at a nice event. Dior Homme Intense is where I'm gonna wear that, or it is just so much more seductive, so much more alluring than Dior Homme Parfum. So because of this dichotomy of uses for each one of these, even though they are on the same continuum of fragrances, I can't compare them to say this one is better than that. They're just so different. So I'm gonna use them both. I'm gonna wear them both, I'm gonna love them both. And that's the best that I can do right now. I don't have a whole lot of feedback on either of these just yet, so I'm looking to get that for you guys. Hopefully get some bystanders' reactions of either or both of these fragrances. So that is my take on both of these wonderful Dior fragrances. Dior Homme Parfum, Dior Homme Intense. The same but different. Both elegant, both classy, different uses, different vibes, different personalities. Both wonderful. Anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Links will be in the description. Thank you guys once again for getting me over 400 subscribers. I still am in awe, and I feel so grateful. And it is so much more inspiring for me to bring you guys more content when I know that there's more of you guys out there checking it out. So stay tuned for more. I'll be doing a special collab video with a pretty well-known reviewer here on YouTube in the fragrance community. More details to come about that later. Peace. I'll see you guys on the next one.